starting energy. Cloaking's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really need to get into that too much. So this button right here will let you purchase a nuclear missile, which you do have to have a factory to build that. So just keep that in mind. And the nuclear missile does take 1 minute to research. And you can read the little tooltip there. It takes 20 seconds to land, so when you're painting a target, you gotta make sure you can hold that target for long enough for the nuke to be effective. And it does do 300 damage and 200 damage versus structures. So versus structures, it'll be 500 damage total. However, to units, it'll be 300 damage within a very large radius. So we'll go ahead and we'll build one of those now. And we will also get a ghost. Oh, we already have a ghost. So, yeah, you can definitely tell I'm tired right now. This ghost does have the, there's the nuclear strike button right there. There is the sniper round, dealing 45 damage, and it does ignore armor. And here is the EMP round, just like Ghost from Starcraft 1. This will take a good chunk of shields off of, Protoss. Also takes off energy from casting units, such as Templar, or, pretty much just any of them. This is the hold fire ability. This is something that's actually really useful in StarCraft 2. This ability lets you cloak, and then, well, it doesn't let you cloak, but if you cloak, and then you turn on hold fire, this will make it so that way when you send your ghost into enemy territory, your ghost will not automatically just start shooting at, whatever's closest and draw attention to itself. So, very good for covert operations, as that is primarily what the ghost is intended for. And we do have a nuclear missile ready, which I know that if you are a Terran player, you probably love the hell out of the nuclear missile. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just because I can here. And you'll see that we get the iconic nuclear launch detected. As these little indicators get closer and closer to the circle, that means that we are coming closer and closer to the nuke landing here. You will hear it kind of landing here soon, and boom! Fiery ball of death, which we've all come to love so much. There are little charred remains, or charred earth there as well. I like that effect, but it does fade pretty quickly. Even with the graphics turned up, that actually fades really quick. So, anyways, that is the nuclear strike, and that is the ghost. I'm going to go ahead and shift our attention now to the factory. Something also from StarCraft 1 should be very easily recognizable. There are some different units that were featured in StarCraft 2 now from the factory. You will notice that there are no longer vultures. My understanding is that they will be present in the single-player campaign. However, I am still making this video off of a copy of the beta that I have, as the game goes retail in about 24 hours from now. So, unfortunately, I don't have access to that during this tutorial. However, this will cover the units that are available in the multiplayer experience. So, that is what we will be covering today. And for now, we do have the Hellion, which is kind of the Vulture replacement unit. I'm actually going to build that in just a minute. For now, I'm going to go ahead and build the Tech Lab, though. I'll go ahead and drop that down here. I'm going to go ahead and build one more factory here for good measure. You'll see why in just a minute. While this does load, I do want to point out one of the great advantages of Terran is the ability to lift off, as you've seen me do with that command center a little while ago. I'm going to go ahead and lift off this barracks right here. Going to go ahead and lift off this barracks right here. One thing you can do with Terran buildings is if a building is able to utilize a add-on structure, such as a reactor or tech lab, you will be able to switch the buildings. So I'm going to go ahead and take this barracks, which was connected to the reactor, connected to the tech lab. Also going to go ahead and switch this barracks and connect it to the reactor. You will see that I have built a reactor and attached it to this factory right here. I'm going to go ahead and lift this up, send it away, lift this on over here, and connect it to this reactor. In this manner, Terran players are really able to change the kind of pace and strategy that they are currently pursuing. And one more thing you can do is, in addition to switching buildings of the same type with the tech reactor, or the tech lab and the reactor, you are able to interchange the buildings entirely, since they are effectively the same two structures, the tech lab and the reactor. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this factory to the reactor that I built on the barracks. You can kind of use your imagination a little bit as to how to incorporate that with your build orders. There are already a lot of players that utilize that. However, like I said, you can still use your imagination and get creative with it. So I do have the 2 factories now. I'm going to go ahead and land this. I don't know why I left that up there. With the reactor upgrade, we are able to build, as with the barracks, we're able to build the basic unit, 2 of them at a time. Going to go ahead and build a couple of those. And we do have the tech lab added on to this factory, so I'm going to go ahead and build a siege tank. I'm sure you guys recognize that from Starcraft 1. And the tech lab does have a couple upgrades for the factory, and like I said, this tech lab, its options will change as you switch around the buildings. So you will see that since it is connected to the factory, we are able to research the Infernal Pre-Igniter, which increases the flame damage from the Hellions by 10. I think it also changes the graphic on it too. So gonna go ahead and get that going. We also have Siege Tech, which of course turns siege tanks into the mighty beasts that we all know and fear. Gonna go ahead and get that. Gonna go ahead and also get this 250mm strike cannon upgrade. This upgrades the Thors to basically let them use a high damage ability. I am actually going to go ahead and move these Hellions out real quick and go ahead and get an armory going so we can display what the Thor does. And in addition to Starport, we'll just go ahead and drop that right here. So when that armory is complete, we will be able to review the aerial units for Terrans. So we do have the Hellions here now. As you can see, they are very fast. They are very good at killing workers, which is something that you will likely see, and chances are you're going to die to at least once. Not everybody is the pro player. Unfortunately, probably even the pro players have died to Hellion harassment at least once. So don't feel bad, as these units are very strong. I will actually show you here. I'll attack this ghost. You will see actually this ghost. You know, I don't know what the deal is. I thought the ghost would die a lot quicker, but that's okay. Anyways. You will notice that when the Hellion attacks, it has kind of a linear path for its attack, and yep, it looks like the Hellion's attack did change color when that upgrade completed. You will see that it does have kind of a line attack for its flame. You'll kind of want to use that to its advantage. When you are attacking a middle line, you want to kind of position the Hellions in such a way that you have the SCVs or whatever you're attacking lined up and a line in front of you, so you do the most damage, or you do as much damage as possible to those units. So that is the Hellion. Like I said, fast attack, hit and run units. Just like Reavers in the earlier game, they're kind of like the mid-game hit and run units, and they're also very good versus light units, say Zerglings, groups of Marines, and whatnot. So, and they are able to kite slow units as well. So keep that in mind. So we have the siege tank here. This is, like I said, the unit that we have all feared from Starcraft 1. Waiting for this upgrade. Yep, there we go. All right. So let's see, what are you doing? You're not a siege tank. So this is the siege mode here. It does deploy into a stationary kind of artillery piece, and just like in Starcraft 1, you will see that its range of attack actually exceeds its range of vision. So you will want to use, say, an aerial unit to kind of scout ahead a little bit and reveal that, or you can use a scan, or you can get creative with another unit. Really, that is up to you. But this attack definitely does a lot of damage. As you can see, that SCV did not last very long, and you can use your imagination to determine, you know, really the best way of using those. A lot of people like to put them up on cliffs. Like I said, really, there's a whole bunch you can do with it. They are very strong in large quantities, so the more you have, the more damage they do. However, they are susceptible to air attacks, as they are not actually able to tilt their cannons up.